I am immortal. I cannot be killed. I cannot be vanquished. I cannot be eliminated. Because I am covered. I'm covered by the CA. Fuck. Covered by California CA. The California CA. I got health insurance, so I am just a buzz. Oh, baby. I feel like the Prince of Prom. Honestly, I got health insurance. I signed up last night. Made my first payment already. $100 and something. Whoopoo! Straight into the fucking pockets of some rich person who didn't do anything and won't do anything. I have the best health insurance. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I got. I'm paying $100 and something with my two. Okay, we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Tuesday night here. I'm recording. I just got home from work. Been set up and everything. My roommate scratched his eye. He's got to wear one of those dog lampshade things now for a few days so he doesn't fuck it up. That's such an obvious joke. No, but I came home and he was like, I scratched my eye with my contact lens. And now I'm like, great. Now I'm all stressed about his fucking eyeball. Not really. But it did look like it hurts. And it does look like it hurt. It still hurts. And so that's good. How do people have children? I think I'm just too sensitive because there's so much possible ways that they just hurt themselves and die. And I would care. I mean, I guess you go numb and you don't give a shit. No, I don't know. Why am I wondering about that? So anyway, I'm tired. Got to do the show. I was trying to do it yesterday. That's really when I should be recording, but I was got caught up in my video, in my new video that I'm working on that I'm very happy about, actually. That's one, like, getting caught up in a video is not something I've done in kind of a long time. I'm a pretty good video editor, and I know what I'm doing behind the camera. I don't even know if that's how you describe video editing, but I know how to put a graphics and text and words and make the camera move a little bit, like the way I sort of imagine that I am the overlord. I have strings directly connected to the viewer's attention, and I know how to like precisely place their eyeballs on screen in a way. You kind of do. You sort of, if I want them to look in the upper left corner, bloop, 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 wait, bloop, 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 blinky corner motions, then they'll look over, right? It's very simple. No, but I'm oversimplifying. But when people have in video editing, a mistake I see all the time, and younger editors might make, or I don't know if people have different approaches. Some people are very technical editors. Some people are very intuitive editors. I think I have a good technical foundation, but most of my decisions are fairly based on an intuition and just how does it feel? How do I like it? Is it in accordance with my tastes? And a lot of times that's a indecipherable mess. You can't tell how you would know, but you can control a person's eyeballs and their focus. You actually have a lot of control over that. So you have to use that to tell your story, or more precisely, generally just keep things in the middle. Honestly, that's really mostly what it is. But like if you have something happening over on the left side of the screen, and the very next shot, the edit the cut shifts over where the thing that you want them to see is all the way on the right side of the screen. Now, unless that's a choice, you could do that deliberately. It might be intentionally, you want to create a feeling of being a little disjointed, not sure where to look. That could be a proper choice. But usually you want to sort of, if the person is on the left, or perhaps if the subject in the shot is, I have no idea why I'm doing this. The subject of the shot is looking a certain direction. That also is a way of priming someone to sort of be prepared to sort of the next thing will be in that direction. And so that's just how I look at it as far as trying to make things seamless. I don't always succeed at it. And you can get bogged down in driving yourself mad with, doing that at every single stage. You should go through different passes, different phases. Why I'm rambling about this is I hit a critical mass with the video I'm making, which is the short version about the Young Turks union busting. You can see the long version on this channel. It's just a few episodes back. I recorded it, I think, October. It's like 3 hours of rambling, which is a terrible, terrible way to reach new people and to try to tell a story succinctly. So this new one's great. I'm really excited. It's probably going to end up longer than I intended, but if I can clock it in around 10 minutes, I think that's sufficient to tell the story of how this company like publicly smeared their own workers in order to protect the boss's political campaign. It's just like every time you just say it, it's like, wait, what? Like, I think that might be one reason it hasn't been like reported on, or I mean, it's been reported on, it's written about as a conspiracy in 2 of the different articles. It's not anything that isn't already out there or that they didn't do publicly, but just the notion that that's what went down. So, but I found some great music that will help propel the story and keep people's attention, and I'm just feeling good about it. I actually have ambitions to do more with video. I don't want to just carve wood into chunks like I did with this cool. Look at it, got a nice board here. This is a neat board. This is actually got a little bit of teak on the end of it. This is going to be the middle shelf for a bookcase I'm building. I'm building a small bookcase, 16 by 20 by 8. So each board, fuck, I turned off my little shit. Each board is going to be unique because they're all glued together with scrap that I rescued from the garbage right here. This one's going to be the bottom, and I'm going to fill that hole with epoxy. It's going to look cool. It's going to have little splashes of color and lots of very charming oak and walnut mixed together. So, and I'm making a video series about that on Bum Rush Industries on TikTok. So go check that out. I haven't posted any yet, but I'm filming, and then I go to my car and I go, hey, some fucking woodworking guy, and then that's going to be a video eventually. I'm calling it lunch break build because that's when I do the work. I can really only do woodworking on my lunch break. Why was I rambling about that? I don't want to just fucking sell chunks of wood. I mean, that's just a grind. If you can get to a point, even if you can get to a point where you're charging enough money to justify your effort, time, investment, the money you spend on your gear, all the reasons why you should charge a lot, not to mention that you're just doing something that should be valuable and should be valued, it's still a grind, man. It's still just cranking out labor, which is, I guess, everything. So I think my future in woodworking is more along the video section, the video world of it, the storytelling part of it. Exactly what form or shape that'll take, I'm totally clueless. I just know that's a skill that I have that I'm trying to make use of. This is Jesus Christ, what a show. I'm gonna try to keep this short because it's already 5:30 something and I'm starving. I had a cucumber for lunch, and I'm ready to eat. But I'm determined to get something close to consistent with this podcast. And so while I'm attempting to unfuck my future by trying to regain the gumption I once enjoyed. I talked a little bit about that last week. That means doing comedy. Well, that's Jesus Christ. I'd love to be doing stand-up. I'm not going to go do open mics, though. I've had enough brushes with suicide as it is. Jesus fucking A. No, but yes, I'd like to go back to stand-up eventually. Comedian stuff, podcasting, and internet crap, and I have an animated idea that actually will use some stand-up material, or at least that sort of takes place in the world of stand-up. But I'd like to also kind of challenge myself this year and do something bigger and something actually that fits within not just click on my link, click on my YouTube link. I need hits, I need watch time to go up, so YouTube algorithm rewards me. That can be nice. And hey, I'll take a big number. I'll take as upwards of 800 views. I would love that. But I want to make more feature sort of things, actually a proper documentary of some kind. And I have the editing. I think I have the storytelling ability. I have the I know I could make a something that I would like, and that's more or less how I make every video. But it also would require a lot of skills I don't have, like collaborating with other people and scheduling and organizing and arranging for multiple people to be in one place at one time. I have done stuff like that in the past. I'm not completely inept, but it is not my skill set at all. And I'm going to try. I can't do it. I'm going to have to find some partners or something like that. And I've already actually got somebody that's going to help me out with music, and who's very talented at music, but also like knows how to use camera. Like this could be a really good partner for that. But it's also kind of part of the whole get out of your own way, to quit being afraid of solvable problems, and take some risks and put yourself out there. Plus, I got to do all this shit before all my fucking hair falls out. Beard is still just shedding. It's nice. Got even more detectable patches, and I'm trying not to stress about that, except when I naturally just fall down the scratchy water slide into the idea of losing my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And I just hope it stops before that. Just please let me keep my eyebrows and my eyelashes. I don't even have great ones. I think my eyebrows are okay. There's actually been a couple little stray stragglers. The most intimate I've ever felt with a woman was when this was somebody who I had been having lots of sex with, but she got all dialed in on an eyelash. No, an eyebrow hair. She just couldn't she just got freaky, like this big eyebrow hair of mine. And she, climbed on top of me and was just like, her eyes were just right on my face. And this is somebody with whom we had committed all sorts of premarital sins. And so it was fine. But it was like, I still have this weird memory of somebody who I cared about, and she, parted amicably, and lots of positive, nice memories. But there's just this feeling of her intensity while she was hunting the eyebrow out of the straight eyebrow hair out of my eyebrow. I crave that level of intimacy with somebody again. I want that. It's been over a decade. That was in my 20s. So yeah, and that's her plucking my eyebrow was not the only positive memory. I probably already made that clear. Oh God. Oh man, I got to get on that Bumble. I got a really charming opener. I just ramble about capers. How's that sound? And then we can double entendre it and talk about capers. You know what I'm saying? How do I tell them I don't want to go eat near waiters? I don't like having the waiter have a mask on, even in an outdoor thing. Like, I guess we'll do pickup, but I don't want to be seen too curmudgeonly. But it's just like, we're in like a wasteland here. Let's just go get comfortable somehow, getting to know each other within our comfort zones. Go somewhere, do the 6 foot hand holding, all right. Okay. And then eventually sex and hanging out. I just don't, I don't want to do crowds. Every time I expose myself to any kind of crowd, it's just like, that's just another week or two of being like, well, is that the time? I don't know how people can go out and be comfortable. I've eaten at restaurants a few times over the last couple of years, like when I was home with my dad and stuff. And it just doesn't, the person bringing you food is wearing protective equipment to keep germs away. It's just weird to me. And I don't necessarily, I know it's pretty safe, and I don't think that's a major source of transmission. But anyway, so I want to make a documentary, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think there's a lot of interesting stories to be told within the labor world. And the kind of what is work. I very much dialed into this concept, this whole thing, this thing that humans do more than anything else, which is get up and go to work. And that's most of their life. It's an enormous percentage of our behavior, more than sleeping probably. Like and obviously I won't be the first person to interrogate this thing, but it just seems so crazy to me that we accept shit work, that we accept. I mean, I know it's not as easy as just saying, I don't accept this, blah, blah, blah. But like this system is like, this is a thing we spend our whole fucking lives doing. And we hope we don't hate it. That's our aspiration. I don't hate my job. Oh, you love it. Yeah, I guess that means I love it. It's a nightmare. The mental apparatus, the mental nutrient layers, I don't know, the core nutrients that sort of feed the way we conceptualize what does it mean to have a job, to be a worker, to go to work. That is completely demented in my viewpoint. I think there's a future perception or purchase, a posture, a position, a perch, where we could look back from one where we have more of an ideal relationship. And I'm not even sure I know exactly what that means, other than the fact that it should feel like it's in service of other people and of doing good for the world and for others, which is how you do good for yourself too. And I think the concept of a business, again, this is not all going to be in the documentary. I'm just rambling about this idea of work, but the concept of a business needs to be fundamentally redefined. First of all, remove corporate personhood. That was a mistake to begin with, and it's a fucking nightmare. That's just a legal bullshit that they use so that they can avoid liability and all sorts of other bull crap. Check out the documentary The Corporation, by the way. They have some interesting insights on the construct of corporations. But a business should, okay, fine. If we have to insist that it profits the person who started it, there should be a transitionary expectation built into all businesses that as the person who gets their windfalls from their risk that they took, quote unquote, that it transitions into maybe becoming more of a service to the world, to the community. Why does it just have to be this ferocious, insatiable vampire feeding on the planet for the entire time? Or we could conceptualize them as a service right out the gate. Why does it also have to, one in which the person who started it, the people who started it, get to actually make decent, good money off of that too. But the notion of maximize everything and only satisfy shareholders and minimize the benefits that workers get from their efforts, and because that's just another goddamn expense that we got to minimize. And I don't know. I just think there's different approaches to this idea. Like, why your boss goes, like, maybe not your boss. Elon Musk gets up in the morning, this fucking, phony ass, fake, fucking lying scumbag. Elon Musk, it's just such a product. He's just such a dopey ass guy who, like, why people think that there's anything behind those beady, glassy eyes of his, I don't understand. It's an example of marketing, really, of public perception. Whatever. Lots of other people have done a much better job exploring that than I just did. But when he gets up in the morning, he says, "I'm going to work." Your boss gets up, "I'm going to work." A worker gets up, they say, "I'm going to work." It's weird that we all use the same word. Is that the same thing? Going to work? I don't know. Work-life balance. See, there's all sorts of angles we could go at. And there's a lot of really interesting writers and not just writers, but other commentators and types and people that maybe I could interview and talk about work and ask. I want to start with very preschool notions of why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And then use those types of simplistic query to tell some of the stories of the past, of the labor struggles and of the work and the emotional underpinnings and the intellectual underpinnings and the historical underpinnings of capitalism and of socialism and of communism and of all these isms that we throw around, all these words we use to signify certain ascribance, not even a word, but it is now, certain ascribances to various ideologies. And it's a lot of those words I've noticed, mostly, not just those three, but many words in the word woke, SJW, those sort of stupid, idiotic words. They say more about the people using them than they do about the person they're talking about usually. And there's generally just ways of misunderstanding each other, in my opinion, because there's always nuance. So why was I going on about that? I don't know. Oh, I'm excited about this video. So yeah, I'm really I haven't felt that in a while. That feeling of kind of charged up energy, balloon rubbed on a cat's back kind of feeling. And I'm like, ooh, Ooh, because I'm mostly self-taught with video editing and animation and stuff, and that doesn't just come from a desperate, I'm not just because I was bored. You can't just teach yourself to do it this much. It's because I like the skill. I like the ability to put stuff in order in a way that makes people entertained and have fun. It's not unlike telling a stand-up bit has ideal ways of phrasing things, and then you can always trim and you can always add whatever. But like it's just all these things are kind of the same thing. Making a video and crafting a good stand-up bit is or writing a good short story or writing a good long story or telling a documentary. It's all about within the parameters of the medium you're working with, but it's all about compelling people's interest in the characters and in the plot, and then advancing some sort of storyline without losing their interest. And there's, like everything, there's fewer ways to do things correctly than there are to do them incorrectly, which is a simplistic way of describing entropy. Don't get me started on entropy. So yeah, that's in the works. This video I'm making, I'm really excited to share it with people. And I'm doubt it'll be done. I was shooting for next weekend, but I think it'll take a little longer because I have some ideas and stuff I want to get in there that are, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see if I catch some good wind and hit some good focus brain. You know how you can't, your brain work not, how brain work not? Well, that's been happening a lot. So I got healthcare now. Well, no, let me take that back. I'm sending $100 a month to some rich person, and the government is also sending that rich person $280 on top of it. And if I get into a car accident, I will only have to spend $8,000. That's pretty good, huh? I'm immortal. I don't even fucking know. Last night was the deadline. Today is the 1st of February. And so the you could only enroll up to January 31st. Another one of those greatest country on earth features is that if you need healthcare, well, just get in during that sign up time. We can't have people signing up in May. What kind of bedlam would that cause? What sort of society would tolerate someone needing healthcare in July when they didn't have it in June? Sorry, fuckface. Wait till November 1st. Okay, piece of shit. Just hold your breath, all right? Scratch cornea person. The whole system is so foobar. It's so fucking insane. So actually, well, probably going to just limit it to this, to be honest, because this is I'm exhausted. I've been up since 5:45. I slept until my alarm last night, which is a rare thing for me. So that, your life is not going where you want it to be when 5:45 a.m. feels like you slept in. I ain't The Rock. I'm not Dwayne Johnson getting up at 4 a.m, making $17 million. By the way, if I were getting his money, I'd be up at 4 a.m. working out. Okay, I'd be inspiring my peeps. All right. No, I go do woodworking. But my muscles are fine. I got good dating muscles. Yo, girl, want to rub up on my oak forearms? I'm telling you. Yeah, so what if I can't use either of my wrists to do push-ups because of repetitive stress injuries? I got real strokeable forearms now because that's literally all I do all day is massage wood. Yeah, let me fire up here. I've got turn the browser thingy off, and I've got a healthcare stuff. This is also just because I know we have some foreigners who pay attention. Some British, for some reason, on SuckProfessor. We always had like a weirdly, maybe they're just a vocal lot, but it was always seemed like there's always a lot of British folks that are commenting. People, but of course, anybody living in any other country is considered a foreigner. So you're all foreigners in my eyes, not just the British. And so anyway, I always find it interesting when non-Americans react to our healthcare system. They can't really grasp how bad it is or how screwed up it is. I'm just remembering this. There was a Reddit clip out that was on Twitter, but it was some guy saying I used to think Americans, so what was anyway, his point was he misunderstood how bad it was until he realized that people don't get sick pay and they don't get vacation time. And I don't have it in front of me. That's terrible. Why did I include that in this podcast? What a horrible choice. So anyway, here we are. We're looking at, I have this in Premiere. It's confusing as shit. They let you in to the site, and what's nice about it, I want to point this out, is that brand name insurance. Whoa. Well, isn't that cool? It's got a below logo of a doctor who's got an umbrella hovering above her head somehow. I assume this is a doctor, either that or it's a person who lost their face. And it's a little cartoon drawing of a faceless person wearing a stethoscope and a white coat. Do doctors really have to wear the white coat? I know that would be weird me out if I went into a doctor and they were just dressed up in like a hoodie and, MC Hammer pants or something. But that's a bit, is performative the right word for that? Maybe not. I suppose there's worse things. I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm going to have to noodle on that one a little bit. But this whole thing here where they're calling it brand name insurance. Both Covered California and Medi-Cal have plans from well-known companies. Yes. Yes, baby. None of this puffed rice, crappy generic brand. I want Smacks, right? We're getting the good stuff. The name brand health insurance. That's how you know you're getting ripped off even more, because they have giant marketing departments and research and development costs that are often subsidized by the government. I don't know if the health insurance companies do. They probably do. I guarantee. This is a subsidy to them. So because of my paltry income, and now I don't make enough money to pay all my bills. So I'm going to ask my boss for a raise, just in the hopes that I get enough monthly to cover that $100 a month that it will eat up my health care. I'll just be happy with that. I have no idea what I'm going to get, if any. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else in this. Yeah. So, okay. So we scroll down a little, and this is not your choices, but this just gives you a sense for some of the healthcare plans. They're giving you an idea. Like on the left, there's bronze, then we got silver, gold, and platinum. So we're talking about the precious metals. All right. Bronze a little more common. That we had a whole age. We had a bronze age. Silver and gold and platinum. I'm probably shooting for the silver range, I think. Although I think I ended up picking a gold. And it just gives you an idea. Out-of-pocket highest, out-of-pocket moderate, out-of-pocket lower, and then out-of-pocket lowest on the platinum. Important, because as everybody knows, you know exactly what you're going to need to do, how you're going to get injured. We all know what sort of health emergencies might need to address, what sort of chronic things we might have. I mean, some people have a sense for their health expenses year to year, I suppose, if they have chronic things that they're managing. But you can see the trade-off here. The bronze has the lowest premiums and the highest out-of-pocket. The platinum has the highest premiums but the lowest out-of-pocket. So do you want to pay up now or pay up later? You're better off paying more now and then using it later, but that runs the risk that you might not need it. So there's a little bit of this whole, what kind of risk tolerances am I going to be okay with? We couldn't just do a system where if you get sick, you will be cared for because you live in a nation that has produced more wealth than any other nation in the history of the planet. We couldn't just do that. Poorer nations do that. That's something you can do somewhere else. COVID. A friend of mine in England, I almost called it Britain, sorry. She told me that with the test availability, they're limited though. They have pretty strict limitation here. If they can only order 7 free tests every 24 hours. So it's pretty limited. You can get 7 free tests delivered through the mail that you request from the government every 24 hours. You can get 49 free tests a week. And you can go into shops like drugstores and shit, or clinics, I don't know what the hell they have over there, and pick them up for free. In America, after Jen Psaki, just doing a dynamite job, I'm looking forward to whatever podcast she starts when she's done. No, she's going to work for some evil company like most of those fucking speechwriter types. Corporate communications assholes, just professional liars. She's the White House press spokesperson. She, reacted to a reporter asking, like, "Yeah, how are you supposed to pay for it? How can we afford that? We can't afford that."
Why not just make them free and give them out and have them available everywhere?
Should we just send one to every American?
Maybe.
Then what happens if every American has one test? How much does that cost, and then what happens after that?
All I know is that other countries seem to be making them available in greater quantities for less money.
Well, I think we share the same objective.
This is this evil kind of response, and that created enough of a blowback that the United States government, in its infinite power, relented and made it okay for every household in America can order one-time delivery of 4 tests from the post office. Well, that is the British thing. It's just the households. You can't, not every person, I guess. I don't know. I think that's what she said. But so your house can get 7. You can get 49 a week for free. It's so ridiculous. So here's the plans, though. This is what I wanted to show you guys. This is American healthcare when you're shopping in California. I'm not going to do this I'm going to try to keep in mind my audio only friends and lovers out there. The cheapest one is at the top, bronze HMO. They call it the bronze 60 HMO. That's $259 monthly premium. That's after 200. So my income is crappy. I don't make money. So they're going to give me $280 to, they call it savings. It says after $279.91 monthly savings. Aren't I lucky? This is just money the state's just going to give to some company that has to trying to make their stock price go up. Straight up. That's all it's doing. Some fucking rich people who aren't working want their stock price to go up, and they want to have enough money around for their big bonuses and their, incentive packages and shit. And we're just going to do that. Can't maybe pull this money into, I don't know, some kind of like fully collective pile, like a government, insurance program, maximize buyer power. No. We have a bunch of different companies competing with their brand names to get me to commit to one of their brand names. So which one do I want to have to fight with when I actually need health care? That's all you really get to pick from here. So the cheapest one is $259, and then it jumps up to $34.64. Next one over is $33.63. $56.68. That one's with Anthem. Molina Healthcare, $67.28. LA Care. Oh, now we're in the silver section. $71.19. Remember, plus $280. That's the monthly cost for all this stuff. Oscar, never heard of that. Bronze EPO, I don't know what that is. $68.83. That one has a deductible of $6,300. The silver one above only had $3,700. So this is a screen recording, so I can't just 7772, 5704. It's just everything is different. There's words, silver HMO, CSR, gold HMO with this one, 3710 and $3,700 and 10. I don't know what that means. So there's the primary care visits and the generic drugs. I guess those are the two most common things. HMOs means health management organization, and those are contrasted to PPOs, which means pretty please, ow. And PPOs are better. You have a little more control over which doctors you see, but the HMOs are cheaper, but those usually mean you have restrictions on which doctors you're allowed to see based on the network. Doctors have to be in the network or not in the network. And so if they're not in the network, you get dinged with, even in the network, you still get surprise billing. I think there's some laws this year that are against surprise billing or something like that. So this is just page 1 of 4. So let's jump over to page 2. Yep, I think this is page 2. So now we're talking in a little bit more money. At the top there, $95 for a gold HMO, $103.12. I think this is one of the ones I might have picked. So these have zero deductible, which is like, I was actually kind of surprised I could even come within any range of having a zero deductible plan. As I understand, the deductible is what you pay out before any insurance kicks in. But then the insurance will also have like approved visits for a checkup or for prevent. Like they break it all down. It's all really granular, which you might say like, oh, good, you get to know every little detail. No, it just means it's even more confusing. It's more Byzantine. You don't have any fucking idea what the hell anything. I'll show you some stuff on that one later. So there's the the second page there, you can see, let's see at the bottom of the second page, we got bronze PPO for $148.95 plus $280. All this just remember, just pumping money into some rich person's bank, some fucking corporation's coffers. It's so stupid. But it's also impossible to tell, like, there's really not much difference. I mean, you can see these have different copays, different generic drugs, but why is this one $151 for a gold HMO when this one's $149.37 for a platinum HMO? You know, the gold has more primary care costs. The platinum is $15 primary care and $5 generic drugs. That one's pretty good. It's got a rating of 2 out of 5 stars. I mean. Let's see, it'll go over to the next page here. Now we're in the 160s, 170, 180, 268 for the Blue California Silver 73 PPO. Oh, baby. Oh, man. Wish I had the money. But this one, now these have deductibles. So why did the ones I picked one that was 100, I think, that had 0 deductible. It's just so confusing. And you know who they expect to figure this crap out? Sick people. You know how, like, the amount of stress, that would be, I don't even know if I'm just thinking of there's got to be a more eloquent way of saying that, but the improvement of quality of life if people just didn't have to worry about this shit. You can go your whole life. It's possible to do this, where from the day 0 to the second day 0, to death, to old person death, and never see a medical bill your whole life. You get sick, you go to the doctor, it's paid for. You need insurance, you need drugs, you need prescriptions or something, it's paid for. Maybe occasional reasonable tiny fee or something. In England, it's like $5 if you go. I don't know. But like I've heard where it's like, okay, well, every time you go to the pharmacy, it's just the same price, no matter what you're getting. You just pay a little bit or something like that. I could negotiate. You could persuade me of some of that, but this whole idea of having to understand the differences between these plans, having to know what is in network and not in network, which doctor. There are times where people are completely knocked out. And some doctor comes by, checks their chart, writes their signature on there so they can milk the insurance companies. But that doctor's out of the network, and now you're getting billed several $1,000s because somebody who came by while you were passed out or under the drugs or whatever the fuck that puts you out or something. So a little more here. 365. This is the bottom of the third page here. The Anthem Platinum 90 HMO. That's $365.95. The Platinum EPO is $333.64. I don't know if you want an EPO. The Platinum HMO though is only $282.37. All right, pretty good. None of those three have any deductible at all. The stress is so bad, and I'm fairly healthy. I mean, I have a few things that certainly need attention, like a brain that doesn't really like me very much, and all the other stuff up there. I have a spot on my nose that I'm pretty sure is some kind of cancer. If I had had health insurance when I worked at the Young Turks, I would have probably had that checked out. I could for sure. I have to have my butthole checked for prostates. I'm in the age I should be doing that, but no. So there's one more page here. But I'm lucky to be fairly healthy, honestly, though. But saving for save for injuries, which are very likely considering my job. My roommate might collapse on the top of the stairs, and I would trip over him, and I'd fall down the stairs, and then his body would tumble down after me, and I would be trapped underneath his wriggling corpse, trying to get him off me. That could happen. Is there insurance for that? I don't think I have it. So the most expensive one here is the Blue California Platinum 90 PPO. $15 primary care, $5 generic drugs, 0 deductible. But you got to click on it for details. Each one of these has this monster list of freaking details that are so insane. So here, let's see. So I compared 3. All right. So we're jumping ahead here. Here's the 3. These are all kind of the ones I was thinking of. I don't know how to discern. And I could have spent hours. I honestly was just like, I don't know. I just have to pick one. I need to get this over with. I need to move on. There's a silver HMO CSR. That's a silver 73 Trio HMO by Blue California. Then there's the gold 80 HMO. That's by LA Care Health something. And then there's a Blue California gold 80 Trio HMO. That one is the most expensive, 103.12. Okay, so let me start that over though. 85, 84, 87, 10, and then 103.12 are the prices on that. So let's see here. They're all HMOs, not health savings accounts. Okay, here's the doctors within 10 miles of my zip code. 358 in the first one, 2,778 in the second one, and then 358 in the third one. I don't understand why the third one, which is more expensive, has fewer doctors. It doesn't, there's no why that would be. So we scroll down, we can see the individual costs. They are all identical. Maximum cost per prescription. Oh no, the out of pocket for the first one. Sorry, I take it back. The 2 on the right are identical. My out of pocket max will be $8,200. Good to know. Half my income. That's pretty cool. It's a little more than that. So now I'm going to open up all these different things. I'm just going to let that play. So there's the doctor visit. So you see there's a different price for primary care visit, specialist visit, other practitioner office visit, preventative care screening, immunization. That one's the free one, no charge. So I'm going to go in there and be like, yo, prevent me from doing something. And then they'll be like, all right, no charge. Tests. Come on, click on it. There it goes. Okay, we've got laboratory tests, x-rays and diagnostic imaging, CT, PET scans, MRIs. So there's 3 different categories for that. I think I took the one that's 100. So my copay for a CT will only be $150. Wow, that's like more than 1 day's of work for me. That's great. Laboratory tests are going to cost $40 per test. Per what? Per order? Per ticket? I have no idea. I'm sure it's whatever maximizes shareholder value. Let's see. Drugs. 4 different tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and 4. Specialty. Okay, we got most generic, preferred brand, non-preferred brand, and specialty drugs. So there's a 20% co-insurance for specialty drugs, which from what I understand is that just means they pay 80% and you pay 20%. So it's not a fixed rate. But these copays are just all over the place. Outpatient services. Let's see. I hope this is probably terrible podcasting. Emergency room facility fee, only $350 copay. Not bad. That's just walking in the door, by the way. Just remember that though. Copay just means, you're here and you're getting something. That's your copay. That doesn't mean like that's everything. It doesn't mean like, okay, that's the visit. That's like they'll charge more stuff on top of that. Emergency transportation, $250 copay. America famous for people who call Ubers and Lyft to go to the hospital. So, Uber drivers and Lyft drivers become fucking de facto ambulances for Americans. Or there's a story where a young woman was severely injured in a train mishap. I think she was pinned up against it and she's going, don't call an ambulance. I can't afford it. Don't call an ambulance. Like, what a fucking burden that we place on our own people to have to think about this shit in our worst states when we're scared and sick and feeling crappy. Your cognition is all screwed up because you're sick, depending on what, maybe you got one of those sicknesses that makes you good at Jeopardy. But you have to, on top of being hurt or injured or sick or scared or whatever, you still have to fucking deal with this goddamn money worries with this. Oh God, did I pay for it? How am I going to pay for it? What kind of, because I worry about that so much. I would be so screwed if I got injured or sick. I just would have to take on the debt. But then what does that also mean? It means that, well, I'm not going to go get care that I would need to prevent something, or I'm going to wait till see if it goes away before I go bother with a doctor. Not that anybody really has relationships with a physician, with somebody that could, like, in a much better world, you could imagine how you'd have ongoing trusting relationships, and we would probably, almost certainly, manage pandemics better. We would have a sense of experts, of understanding that there are people who you should listen to. If we could all have a model, like if our lives were modeled, if your parents had healthy relationships with professional, doctors, physicians, and people, and predictable, and it wasn't based on cost or access, based on money. It was based on need. It was based on, and we made sure to have. We would probably need to train a lot more doctors. I know there's a lot of professional associations that are kind of finagle how they, produce new doctors in terms of how many are allowed to be minted. The whole system needs a complete overhaul to get this profit out. It has so many downstream effects on everybody. Emergency room professional fee. Now there's no charge for that. Wow, isn't that sweet? Hospital inpatient services, $600 copay per day up to 5 days. So if you need a hospital for more than 5 days, first pay up your $3,000. That's just a copay. That, again, it's going to be tons of other charges on top of that. But after you pay that $3,000 for those 5 days, then it's just full charge, whatever else they're going to get you for after those 5 days. So don't get too sick. Don't need that hospital for more than 5 days. You're just going to be in the way. Just you pieces of shit are just going to be in the way. Okay, I think we're moving a little quicker here. Mental and behavioral health. This has a bunch of them. I'm not going to read them all. Substance use disorder, outpatient services. Substance use disorder, inpatient professional fee, no charge. It's nice that they just have like something they made up. Okay. Yeah, it's each one's a little different. You have to know which ones you're going to need. Other special needs. I'll just read these real quick. Home health care services, outpatient rehabilitation services, habilitation. What the fuck is habilitation services? Outpatient rehabilitation services, habilitation services, skilled nursing facility, unskilled nursing. No, that's not one I have. Durable medical equipment. I don't like that crap, like that foam that wears out real quick. I want durable medical equipment. Hospice services, no charge for that. Yeah, kind of hard to collect on that one. Acupuncture. Rehabilitative speech therapy, rehabilitative occupational and rehabilitative physical therapy, well baby visits. Well baby, we don't keep babies in wells. That happened once. It was all over the news. Baby Jessica, she was in the well. She was a well baby. Allergy testing, diabetes education. Bug just flew past my face. And nutritional counseling. I could actually use some rehabilitational occupational stuff because my wrists, my elbow also hurts a lot. But I haven't been able to put all my weight on my wrists in about 8 months. But my right wrist has been fucked up for about 3 years since I built a giant coffin for tortoises. I helped a neighbor build a huge tortoise enclosure with these really nice wires. And somehow I fucked it up at that point. And I barely got paid for that. And lifelong wrist injury. That's nice. So I could use some of that. There's probably some help for it. Eye exams for children. Nice. I could get free children's glasses. So, this country does have this monstrosity of like, so they don't have adult eyes or adult dental or adult hearing. Although I think there's some potential support from Biden for hearing. I think there's a little bit of change to that one, but this is for children's stuff. They make sure that they're not going to help us adults with our teeth or our eyes, because as you guys know, and you look up any textbook, anything, any science book, anatomy, no matter what level, of course, if they were talking about first grade anatomy all the way up to, where they teach you how to cut up the corpses like Clive Owen does in that one TV show. Eyeballs and teeth, not part of the body. It's a fact. Eyeballs and teeth are not part of the human body. Oh, fuck, my screen just turned off. God damn it. Shit. All right, we're back. Yeah, that's fucked up, man. This shit is so stupid. I can't believe that we put up with this stuff. We're so kowtowed by this system, and people who have health insurance that they know they can manage, it might not break their bank. Maybe they've even seen it deliver some decent care for somebody. Because if it truly were 100% of the people were having horrible care, it would have been like fixed a long time ago. The system does provide care in some way, but even those who are able to get the care are putting up with a lot of stress they shouldn't have to be putting up with, or hassle they have to be putting up with. And it also keeps you leashed to your boss. It makes it so that you're less likely to quit a job. You hear so many stories of someone whose spouse was on their health care or something, and, oh yeah, my wife needs the health care because otherwise I would quit this job. How much economic activity is stifled by people being forced to stay in jobs they don't like? Means your managers can be even more of a dick than they might not have to be if you were able to say, fuck you, I don't need your health insurance. Like, we got everybody, like it's a system of control. It's a tool of oppression. By tying your job, your healthcare access to your job, and even then you don't have great stuff because they could always pull it back. Profits are a little bit down. Well, guess what? We're going to have to hire one of those expensive consultants to tell us to cut our employees' health care. And hey, guess what, everybody? We still have health care, but it's just not going to be as good as it used to be because we got to make money for our next vacation house purchase. It's all just to feed the fucking vampires at the top of the system. And your stress is their yachts. That's one of my things. I think I could write a book called Your Stress Equals Their Yachts, because the stress that you experience makes it so that you're less likely, because you just want to get by with what you got. You just want to have, make do with the scraps that you've been granted, not rock the boat, and even stifle your imagination. Strengthen the delusion that you live in a good country that looks after people. We don't. This place is horrible. This is a shitty way to treat people. This fucking healthcare system. We have these vampire, like I think a lot about like how weird, and I was thinking about this too, is like some kind of animation where it'd be like a neighbor who comes out, like if a Family Guy kind of cartoon. It's great podcasting. I don't describe Family Guy. I'm not a Family Guy guy. Don't get me wrong. All right, I'm not a fucking Family Guy guy. Okay, I have integrity. Those people who describe a Family Guy scene and that's like a substitute for their sense of humor. No, I describe Family Guys that if I were writing it, I would write the scene. And I don't want to work for fucking Family Guy. I want to work for the Cleveland Show. Is that one still on? I don't know if it is. I would totally write for the Family Guy. But a cartoon where like a guy's neighbor comes out and gets in his car and says, "Hey, good, have fun killing people today." And then anyway, that's not that funny. But it's, if you live next door to a health insurance executive, that person gets up, goes to work, murders people for profit, and comes home and has a snack and falls asleep watching Judge Judy on Channel 52. Fucking evil. People who work for health insurance companies, I don't mean the people who answer the phones. I don't mean the low-paid workers. I mean the executives and above are evil. They are monsters. They're devoted to denying people health care so that a little magic line can go up. They're fucking demons. And when we tolerate that, talk about a culture of violence. Tens of thousands of people's lives cut short so that these companies can make a little bit of extra money. Not to mention all the stress that is imposed on the people who don't die. It's just brutal. And then there's the hospital corporations and all. I mean, the whole system is just rotted because it holds people's lives captive. Your need to be alive, your survival instinct, your desire to not be dead, the thing that we have that is this special something, whatever it is, the meaning of life that we're all searching for, this unique configuration of trillions of atoms and molecules that have somehow trapped a soul inside of it that's conscious and conscientious, and mostly if you use your phone a lot of that seems to be going away. Just this brain dead bullshit. I hate these phones. I fucking hate these phones. Getting an iPhone 13 was definitely not good for my phone addiction problem. Although I've been doing okay about it lately, kind of. I don't know. The camera's so good on it. But fuck, it's bad, dude. It's so bad. I totally lost my train of thought because I brought up the phone. And so you're human being wants to keep being. It wants to stay alive, and they know that, and they know that you'll pay anything. It's not the same. It's not like you're like, I'd like to get a nicer chair. My chair's a little beat up, but it holds me up all right. I got a pillow back there, it's fine. Put a towel down to absorb the farts, and I could use a better chair though, but I can't afford a better chair. That's fine. I don't get one till I can afford one. But like with healthcare, it's like I need to fucking breathe. I'm going to spend anything I have to, even though, and that means going into debt. And they have a whole system of debt management that goes into it too, because they know that people aren't going to be able to pay that stuff. It just adds to the stress. And that serves all the other capitalists in this fucking society, is that just because you're stressed out by one capitalist for some horrible, evil, neoliberal, commodified transaction that shouldn't be like that, well, guess what? That also means you're going to be too tired to fight off the electricity company that's been privatized, and too tired to fight off the insurance, the insurance, car insurance companies and stuff. I don't know if those should be private or not private or whatever, but it all helps each other. Every time a capitalist fucks you over and you got to spend your time fighting it or just giving up, that's also a favor to the other capitalists. They're just busy. As long as one of them's keeping you busy, the other ones are out. It only takes one bee to drive you crazy, right? Although, you know what? If you just be cool and chill around bees, usually they're pretty nice, especially the honeybees. Honeybees, I don't think they get enough credit, honestly. I've had some personal experience with honeybees because my dad has a beehive in his backyard. They're friendly. They'll fuck you up if you make them mad, but they're not like the aggressive asshole bees we mostly associate with childhood. And, bumblebees are nice and cute too, although I don't think I could be comfortable enough to let them crawl around my hand. Don't have that kind of confidence. Wow, that's a random, with the bees. But so your exhaustion, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It just means that you're going to give up a little quicker when they really start tightening the screws, which is what they always do. The world can only get better if some rich person who already has enough wealth for millions of years gets a little bit more rich. It's the only condition in which something is allowed to even come close to improving, not even solving any kind of problems, because solving problems would be bad for future profits. But the one condition that must be satisfied for anything to happen is that somebody who doesn't need money gets more money. If that's not going to happen, then it is simply wiped out of the conversation, wiped out of the imagination. And I think that's also kind of what's wrong with the Biden administration, among the many, many fucking reasons. Do you know Joe Biden is the guy who brought us police civil asset forfeiture? He was a big proponent of that. Didn't used to be that cops could just steal whatever they wanted from people. Joe Biden brought that on. In addition to his mass incarceration stuff, this guy is often described as an architect of mass incarceration. That means he's a paladin of white supremacy. He's a fucking architect of that, and that's the person the Democrats chose to answer Donald Trump. Unbelievable, man. When they fucking shivved Bernie out of the race during 2016 or 2020. All right, you know what? I think we're done. It has been like an hour or something. That's fine. I'm exhausted. I got to go cook, and I'll see if I can get this posted. Whatever. It's fine. This one was a little sloppy, not going to lie. Although usually when I listen back, I'm like, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. I just didn't have any real time to plan much here or sort out any thoughts or anything. Let me do this real quick, though. I'm just going to play a little This is, I don't know if I'd call this a teaser, but I did design the ending for my video I'm making. I've already done the damage in terms of one thing that's bad for getting a job anywhere is to make videos about how your previous employer was shady union busters. That's generally a red flag. Most people put their head down and go, "Whoa, boy, geez, God, that was kind of fucked up." But I'm not going to make a stink about it because I need to get a job somewhere. That kind of honesty will definitely prevent some human resources place from hiring me. So I'm mentioning that because I think about that a lot too. I think it kind of forces me to try to make this kind of stuff work because I am unemployable, especially after I put this one out. I could maybe get a job with some sort of labor organizing or labor something. Like I think there's like about the only place that where having started it helped to start a union and then also making content about the union busting that went on wouldn't be a red flag, would be like some kind of labor reporting or labor, and that's my hope, sort of, because I am passionate about it too, and like I think I'd fit in nicely. I'd love to drive around and talk to people on strike and stuff and be like, I guess, I don't know if that makes me a reporter, but like, hey, talk to me. And I'll bring them like a piece of wood and I'll be like, yo, check this out. Piece of wood. Oh, my elbow. Ow. All right, so here's the ending. I don't know if I'm going to include this, but I'm just going to share it real quick. It's going to be like this. So just imagine you just watched the most compelling, interesting, fast driving. I like when videos drive. I like when you feel driven forward, and it'll end like this. Now, for you audio only folks, it's little pictures of Barbra Streisand. I'm so scared they're going to sue me. I'm not doing anything I think I deserve to be sued for, but these people have a lot of money and a lot of lawyers, and I have Barbra Streisand. So that's yes, I did this little kind of thing where I just changed some of the graphics. In fact, what I did with this, I'm talking over the music. What I did with that one is screen recording. One good way to do graphics is to not necessarily keyframe every change from purple to yellow to green or whatever, but you can go into your Lumetri settings, use the curves under the curves drop down, and you can do all kinds of cool little color changes and stuff, and you can kind of do it on the fly, activate screen recording, do a bunch of curvy colors, and you'll end up with a flickering Barbra Streisand, and then you can apply other things to it as well. So yeah, that's it. I'm not paying for that photo either because I'm a thief. Yeah, I don't know. Internet. I'm just using it from the internet. I hope that's okay. I don't know. Yeah, It would. I wouldn't be surprised if I get a cease and desist. And I will say, thanks for the compliment because that's a pretty goddamn good video. All right. We did it. It's Tuesday night. I got bacon to cook. I got a steak to cook too. I think it's probably gone bad, but I'm just gonna cook it a little extra. And that's the podcast for this week. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling safe. I hope your stresses are manageable or about to end, and that you're communicating the heartfelt intentions that you want to communicate when you try to talk to somebody. Because sometimes it's hard to say the right thing when you're not sure if you're going to or not, isn't it? I know. All right. Thanks for watching. Keep up the fight. And I love you. Go on.